Okay, hi everyone. I'm here with your 113 lesson. How does it grow? Describing and extending patterns. Patterns are everywhere. You may have noticed them in pine cones, flowers, stacks of cans in the grocery store, or many other places. Patterns are interesting partly because of the different ways that you can see how the parts of a pattern are changing. In this course, we will often be asked to look for different ways of seeing a pattern or concept. As you study the pattern in this lesson, work with your team to find several ways to see and describe the pattern and how it is growing. The following questions can help guide your discussion. How can we describe the pattern? Is there another way to see or describe it? Does anyone see it differently? So 115 says dot pattern. Copy the dot pattern below onto graph paper. Explore using the 115 student e-tool. You do not need to copy them onto graph paper. They're right here on your paper. Part A says, what should the fourth and fifth figures look like? Draw them on your paper. So you can go ahead and draw them on your paper. If you would prefer to use graph paper, you can do that. Just make sure you label it lesson 113, problem 115, so you know where it belongs. So go ahead and pause and do that. Okay, if you're back with me, that means you have drawn figures 4 and 5. We're going to take a look at them. Okay, figure 4 looks like this. Okay, you have another square. Figure 5, it looks like figure 4, just with another set of dots. So pause if you need to look at that some more. How can you describe how the pattern is growing? How can you find more than one way? So part B is asking you to describe how the pattern is growing and asking you if you can look at it more than one way. So go ahead and look at that. Okay, if you've answered that, there's a couple things that you could say. One thing that a lot of kids tend to go to, which is okay, say that each figure has 5 more dots than before. So if you said that, great. If you said something else, that is okay too. Part C says, how many dots would be in the 10th figure of the pattern? What would it look like? Draw it. So you're going to draw the 10th figure in the pattern here. It's going to be kind of big, so make sure you can fit it. If you would like to do it on graph paper, again, you can do that. Just make sure you label it problem 115 part C. And I want you to figure out how many dots would be in the 10th figure. Okay, if you're back with me, you drew the 10th figure. I also drew the 10th figure. It is right here. I drew it on graph paper. I just put each dot in a little box on my graph paper. And in total, there would be 53 dots. So hopefully you said 53 dots. If not, that's okay. Just double check, pause the video, and see where you think you made a mistake. Finally, part D, you're kind of out of room, but part D says how many dots would be in the 300th, or in the 300th, I'm sorry, the 30th figure. How can you describe the figure without drawing it? Can you describe it with words, numbers, or a simple diagram? Be ready to explain your ideas to the class. So go ahead and come up with this, come up with how many dots there would be. And then this is something that you can check with me, okay? Because there are more than one way to represent this. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask.